Pay close attention to what I am about to show you. There is someone in your life right now. They make you feel chosen, special, like you finally found someone who truly gets you, but something feels off, like a quiet signal you cannot switch off. You cannot name it. You cannot explain it. That feeling, that is your brain catching something your heart is trying to ignore. The evidence has always been there. You just needed to know where to look. Here are 10 signs you are dealing with a narcissist. Number 7 is the one almost nobody talks about. They did not arrive cold or cruel. They arrived warm, attentive, almost magnetic. That is by design. Researchers at Ohio State University found that narcissists are naturally charming in early relationships, exciting, energetic. They make you feel like the most important person in the room, but over time something quietly shifts. Sign 1 starts before you even realize something is wrong. Constant texts, unexpected gifts, deep conversations at 2 a.m. Psychologists call this love bombing, and it is not romance. It is a setup. They are building something inside you, trust, attachment, need, so that later when they pull back you will do anything to get that feeling back. That is exactly where they want you, hooked before you even realize it. Now here is where it gets interesting. Sign 2 is something most people mistake for passion. You bring up a small problem, something reasonable, something fair, and somehow by the end of the conversation you are the one apologizing. That is not an accident. Psychologists call it DARVO. Deny, attack, reverse victim and offender. They did something wrong, but by the time they are done you feel guilty for bringing it up, and they walk away clean. File that away. It becomes important later. Sign 3 will feel familiar if you have lived it. You remember something clearly, a promise, a confession, something important, you bring it up. That never happened. You always twist things. I never said that. This is gaslighting, and it does not happen once. It happens slowly, repeatedly, over months, until you stop trusting your own memory. Until you check with them before trusting yourself. Until their version of reality feels more real than your own. That is not a relationship. That is psychological erosion. And the worst part, you do not even notice it happening. Sign 4 is hiding in plain sight. Look closer. Pay attention to how they talk about every person who has ever been close to them. Their ex was crazy. Their old friend betrayed them. Their family never understood them. Everyone in their past is a villain, and they are always the victim. Research tells us that people with narcissistic traits carry a deep hidden sense of victimhood beneath the surface. They genuinely believe the world has wronged them. So when you hear story after story where they are always the one who was hurt, understand this. You are not hearing bad luck. You are seeing a pattern, and one day you will be in those stories too. Notice something. Every single one of these signs is invisible until you know exactly what to look for. That is what makes this so dangerous. That is what we are here to change. Sign 5 is the slowest, the quietest, almost invisible. It does not happen in one conversation. First, a small comment about one of your friends, nothing major, just a comment. Then your family starts to seem like a problem. Then going out without them becomes an argument. Before you realize it, you have drifted from almost everyone. Researchers describe this as deliberate isolation, a core pattern in narcissistic relationships, because a narcissist cannot control you when you have people around who see clearly. So those people have to go, one quiet comment at a time, until one day it is just you and them, and no one left to reality check what is happening, but that is only the surface. Sign 6 is the one that confuses people the most. They cry. They open up. They say things like, "Nobody has ever understood me like you do." And it feels real. But here is what the research actually found. Narcissists learn to perform vulnerability. They mirror what you value. If you love emotional depth, they become emotionally deep. If you value honesty, they perform radical honesty. It is not connection. It is calibration. They are reflecting you back to yourself. So you fall in love with what feels like understanding, but is actually your own values being used as a hook. Sign 7. This is the part nobody talks about. Most people miss this completely. Narcissists know they are difficult. Research confirms it. They are aware that people find them exhausting. They know their reputation is not always good, but they do not change, not because they cannot see it, but because in their mind the problem is still yours. You are too sensitive. You cannot handle someone with their level of confidence. Most people, when they realize they are hurting someone, they stop. They reflect. They try to do better. A narcissist sees it, understands it, and decides you are the one who needs to adjust. That is the difference. A normal person feels guilt and changes. A narcissist feels justified and continues. Sign 8 is felt in the body before it is understood in the mind. You rehearse conversations before you have them. You choose every word carefully to avoid a reaction. You have become smaller, not because you are weak, but because you have been trained to be. Every time you spoke freely and something went wrong, your nervous system took note. And now it protects you by keeping you silent. That is not anxiety. That is a learned response to an unpredictable person. Sign 9 is about silence. Not every narcissist screams. Some go completely quiet, no response, no explanation, just a wall of cold, total silence. Research shows the silent treatment activates the same regions of the brain as physical pain. The narcissist knows this. Silence is a tool. It punishes, it controls. It teaches you what happens when you push back. And it works, because being ignored by someone you love hits deeper than most people are prepared for. Sign 10 is the most important piece of evidence. Think back to who you were before this person. How freely did you speak? How much did you trust yourself? How often did you apologize for simply existing? Now look at where you are. Narcissistic relationships do not damage you in one moment. They damage you in 1,000 small ones. A comment here, a silence there, a stolen apology, a rewritten memory, and over time, the person you were starts to feel like someone you used to know. The case is clear. You did not imagine it. You simply did not have the evidence yet. Now you do. You are not crazy. You were slowly conditioned to doubt yourself. And the moment you see it clearly, their control starts to break, and your clarity starts to return. Save this. Share it with someone who needs it. They may not be ready to hear it from you, but they might be ready to hear it here. Subscribe to Mind Unmasked. We unmask what others hide. Every single week. I will see you in the next one.